brave souls, to the Occult Chronicles, Realms Unveiled. Can you hear the whispers? This is the podcast where the line between the nerd and the unknown blurs, where fact meets fiction in the darkest corners of the occult. I'm your guide on this journey into the arcane, delving deep into tales of witchcraft, magic, and the mysteries that have both intrigued and terrified humanity for centuries. Each episode, we unravel chilling tales from true crime stories with unsettling ties to the occult to spine-tingling fictional narratives that will leave you questioning reality. But this isn't just about tales meant to haunt your dreams. It's a voyage into the annals of history, exploring the roots of magic and witchcraft from cultures around the world, shedding light on practices revered and reviled. So, light a candle, gather your protective charms, and prepare to be both educated and enthralled. But remember, some doors, once opened, reveal secrets that can never be unseen. Let us begin. Today, we have two tales of when ritual goes wrong. Amidst the dense rainforest of Guyana, Reverend Gerald established his utopia, the Sanctuary of Serenity. His followers, in the thousands, believed in his doctrine of creating a society free from the shackles of the external world's oppression. The sanctuary was well fortified, almost impenetrable. However, its defenses weren't to keep threats out, but to prevent secrets from escaping. Reverend Gerald was not just a man of faith, but also an avid collector of ancient artifacts. Amongst his treasures was the obsidian mirror, said to possess the power to show glimpses of alternate realities or dimensions. Reverend Gerald was obsessed with the mirror, often locked away for hours, whispering to its reflective surface. As the months passed, changes in Reverend Gerald were evident. His sermons grew more fervent, speaking not of salvation, but of transcending realms. Whispers began amongst the congregation of a grand ritual to shift their entire community to a better dimension, untouched by the woes of the current world. Mara, a journalist who infiltrated the sanctuary to uncover its truths, discovered the planned ritual. The community was to drink a concoction that would free their souls, allowing them to move through the obsidian mirror. Mara was horrified and planned to expose the plot. However, the mirror showed her something even more sinister. In its depths, she saw not a better world, but a shadowy realm, and an entity that seemed to feed on souls. She realized that Reverend Gerald wasn't leading his followers to salvation, but to their doom. The fateful day arrived. As the community gathered, drink in hand, Mara set her plan in motion. Using the mirror's power, she broadcasted the shadowy realm's vision to everyone. The horrifying sight of the entity awaited them led to chaos. As Reverend Gerald tried to salvage the situation, the mirror pulsed and shattered, sucking him into the shadowy realm, leaving behind only his echoing scream. The Sanctuary of Serenity was no more. Those who survived the ordeal left, forever scarred by the near escape from a fate worse than death. The obsidian mirror's shards were scattered, its dark power seemingly quelled, but the tales of Jonestown's shadows remain, a grim reminder of the fine line between faith and fanaticism. Now let's look at what happens when one digs into the realm of chaos magic. In the dimly lit room, fragrant with a blend of sandalwood and sage, Magus Ilion fervently sketched ancient symbols onto a piece of parchment. His journey into the arcane had been short but intense. Tales whispered in the dark corners of occultist gatherings spoke of the ability to create servitors, magical entities crafted to serve the will of the magician. Driven by a desire for companionship and assistance in his practices, Ilion decided to embark on this endeavor. He named his creation Lyros. Initially, Lyros was a marvel, aiding Ilion in his spells, fetching books, and guarding his sanctum. As days turned into weeks, the bond between magician and servitor deepened. However, as Lyros grew in power and intelligence, so did its desires. No longer content being a mere aid, it began exerting its will. Subtle disruptions in Ilion's magical rituals became frequent. Ingredients went missing, chants were whispered wrong, and dark omens began manifesting around his home. Ilion, realizing that gravity of his creation's rebellion, tried to undo the servitor, but Lyros, having tasted freedom and power, resisted. The sanctum became a battleground of wills. Shadows grew darker, objects levitated and shattered, and an ever-present code consumed the space. One fateful night, neighbors reported a deafening scream, followed by an eerie silence from Ilion's residence. When they mustered the courage to investigate, they found the house in disarray, with no sign of Ilion. Only the parchment on which Lyros was first conceived remained untouched. On it was a new symbol, one that no one recognized. The search for Magus Ilion continued for years, but he was never found. Among practitioners, it's whispered that Ilion's attempt to unmake Lyros backfired, causing him to be trapped in another realm, forever out of reach. The parchment was taken and sealed away, deemed too dangerous. Yet, every so often, a brave or foolhardy magician seeks it out, tempted by the allure of creating their own servitor, despite the grim tale of Magus Ilion. And so, the cycle continues, a stark reminder of the balance of power and the dangers of treading paths less traveled in the arcane world. And as the shadows of Ilion's sanctum fade and the whispers of Jonestown grow silent, we're reminded once more of the fragile threads that bind us to this realm and the powers that beckon from just beyond our understanding. The tales of today may have reached their end, but the mysteries of the arcane and the enigmas of history never truly fade. What secrets lie in wait for our next gathering? What dark tales are yearning to be told? Join us again as we delve deeper into the shadows, uncovering stories that have long been hidden from the light. Until then, dear listeners, may you tread carefully on the path less traveled and always question the unknown. Remember, not everything that tempts in the darkness should be embraced. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and above all, stay with us. Good night.